friends of YouTubers. This is Kurt, and welcome back to the Kurt's Place channel here on the YouTube. Well, guys, I have another arcade video for you. Now, this is going to be my tips and tricks for getting high scores in Mappy. Mappy was made by Namco in 1983, and in this video, I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks and things I used to get high scores on Mappy. Now, I also want to mention, too, this is being played on my Black Knight Bar Top Arcade machine. Now, if you want to know more about the Black Knight Bar Top Arcade machine, when a video is playing on the top right-hand corner of the screen, while the video is playing, you're going to see an icon. If you click on the icon, it's going to have links to other videos. And one of those videos is going to be the Black Knight Bar Top Arcade machine. If you watch that video, you'll learn how I built the Black Knight Bar Top Arcade machine from the ground up. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. Now, Mappy was made in 1983. I was actually 13 years old at the time this game was made, and I still play Mappy 1 to 2 times a week because it's such a great game. I have so much fun playing this game. It's a lot of fun. Now, what we'll do is we'll start out by showing you the characters and things that we're going to be dealing with when we play Mappy here, and then I'll show you the techniques and things I use. Okay? Now, our characters, we're Mappy. We're known as Mappy the Micro Police. That's our character. Okay, now the enemies we have to face. Mappy is Micro Police. The enemies are Goro as Boss the Big Bit. That's one of our enemies. And then Miyawaki as Naughty Folks. That's the other one. Now, in Mappy, you're going to have, one of the key things in Mappy is there's things called microwave doors. There's little flashing doors. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get as many of the enemies behind these microwave doors as possible. The more enemies you get, the higher points you get. If you get Goro in behind one of these with the smash, you get double the points. Now, the items. Different items. As you grab the items, what you're going to try to do is if you grab a TV, then you're going to try to grab another TV. If you grab a safe, then another safe. You want to grab them in order, and you're going to know what the order is as you grab each one because the next item in order will actually be flashing. Now, whether or not you grab a TV first or you grab a computer first doesn't really matter as long as you grab the next one of that item in order, as you're going to see I'm going to do here. All right, let's go and begin. Now, I have a lot of patterns that I use that I've developed over the years for Mappy 2 you're going to see here. Now, you're going to notice that I'm going to grab the TV first, and then the next TV is going to flash. This tells you the item that you want to grab next. Now, if you don't grab that item next, it's not the end of the world, but multipliers are a big part of Mappy, and that's how you get the multipliers, by grabbing the items in order. Now, I can see the computer up here flashing. That's my next item. Now, when I grab the portrait, the next portrait's gonna flash to let me know that's the next item I'm supposed to grab. So you see how I got Goro there? So I got extra points. Now I'm gonna grab the portrait. See, so you just grab the items in order, one after another, as long as they're the same item, and you'll know what the next item is because it'll be flashing, like it is here, like the radio's doing. Now, ideally, what you want to try to do is try to have the safe as your last item. The safe gives you the most points. So I usually try to time it so the safe is the last item that I grab. All right. Now you gotta notice here I got a 6 times multiplier because I didn't miss any of the items. I got them all in order, and I got multipliers for every one of those items I had. So very, very cool stuff. Now here you gotta notice too. I'm gonna try to get Goro behind us. See, since I got Goro now, I got double points. Now in this situation here, you're going to notice there's a computer flashing on top. Now what I'm going to do here is, I'm actually going to wait for Goro to go up to the item and land on the item. If Goro is on an item, if he's on a flashing item like that and you hit him, you'll get 1,000 points extra for that because you got it when he was on the item. Very, very cool stuff. Now see here, same thing, I'm going to wait for Goro to show up. I want to try to get those double points if I can, so I'm going to wait for him. I'm going to time it just right so he shows up. And there you go. See that? Now I got double points. Now we're on an early round right now, so it's not, the rounds right now aren't too fast, but you're going to notice as we get into higher levels that they're going to speed up considerably. Now I'm going to show you something that comes up. If you take too long to complete a round, you're going to hear a chiming sound come out, and what that is that's known as the death coin. Now you're going to notice the music has sped up. Now you're going to hear a chime come off in just a second. That's going to be the death coin. And you'll see the death coin here in just a second. You'll see it come out. See, there's a certain amount of time you have to complete the round. Now, like I said, I'm purposely delaying this so I can show you what this coin looks like. Now there's the death coin. That coin, you cannot defeat that coin. If that coin touches you, you will die. If that coin touches you, you'll die. So you want to go ahead and complete the round before the death coin shows up. Okay. Now bonus rounds in Mappy are also a big part of Mappy. Most of the bonus rounds are not too difficult to do, but you're going to notice there's a few differences in some of the higher levels, as I'm going to show you in this video as well. Now, one of the key things to Mappy is having a good joystick to control. It's very important on Mappy. Now, all my arcade machines I have use Seimitsu LS32 joysticks. I found the Seimitsu LS32 joystick has been excellent. All my arcade machines I've ever made use of, all of them. And I have some of the joysticks now in my arcade machines that have been in my arcade machines for over 10 years and still going strong. So it's an excellent choice of joystick as well. It's not the cheapest joystick in the world, but I'll tell you, it really does a great job. Now, because I got all the balloons and all the points, I got a perfect game bonus of 5,000 points. So I got 10,000 total on that. Okay. Now, what you're going to notice here now is you're going to notice that the items have moved around. Now, we're on a little higher level. The items have moved around, and the cats and things are moving a little bit faster than they did earlier. You're going to notice the speed of the cats and things is picked up now. But same thing as before, you try to get as many cats as you can behind the microwave doors for extra points, like I'm doing there. Now here I'm actually going to wait. I'm going to wait for the cats to line up so I can get them all behind that door. And you're going to notice you can actually go up through the attic. See how I went up through the attic there? You can actually use the attic as well. Very, very neat stuff. Really, really cool. Now the patterns that I'm actually using patterns that I've developed over the years. Now I was fortunate enough when I grew up in California, I had an arcade near me called Cheap Bleeps. When I was in California, we had some of the best players in the state come to Cheap Bleeps, and I learned from some of the best players in the state on how to play Mappy. Now keep in mind, there are different patterns you can use. These are the ones that I have learned that seem to work very well for me. But there are different patterns you can use. These are not the only patterns. You may develop your own patterns as well. These are just ones that I learned when I was growing up, because fortunately when I was 13 years old, I had a wonderful bunch of friends and stuff that I knew that actually showed me how to play Mappy. And I think that's one of the reasons that I love playing Mappy today too. It's a game that's stuck with me throughout the years, and I haven't gotten tired of it. Now here's an example where I'm going to wait. And when Goro's on the radio, see how I got an extra 1,000 points because he was on the radio? I got extra points for that. Now here's another example where if I wait and I get him in there, I can get extra points. See how I waited for Goro there? I got extra points for that. See that? Got double points. Those double points are very important on Mappy. They're going to really benefit you by being able to get those. That's one of the keys to getting high scores, is getting as many of those Goro hits as you can get when you use the smashes. Now, some of the higher hits, like when you get on some of the higher levels where you have more enemies and things like that, I've had hits upwards of 10,000 points by timing out a hit perfectly. So it's amazing how much points you can get when you do that. Really, really good stuff. Now here I'm going to get a combination. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to get all the cats behind this microwave door here. Then I'm going to line up and get all the microwave cats behind this door. See, I get it. See how I perfectly lined all those up? That's where those patterns come in. Being able to do that really helps out a lot with points. Being able to do that. See, I got an extra 1,000 points there. Now there I did get a safe out of order there, but it's not the end of the world. We can work with that. Not the end of the world there. And if you do grab an item out of order, the main thing is don't get frustrated. If you grab an item out of order, don't get frustrated. Just move on to the next one. And you're going to find on some of the higher rounds that happens a lot more on some of the higher rounds too, as it gets faster and faster. Okay. Now we're coming up to the second bonus round. Basically, it's the same as the first. It's just a little bit faster and a little more tricky getting the timing just right. So. Now you're going to notice that on some of the other rounds, some of the other bonus rounds, there's a little bit more of a technique involved in those, and I'll show you when I get to those higher rounds. Okay, now this round coming up, there's a really neat item called the bells. On the left and right hand side top of the screens, there's going to be bells, and what you do with the bells is you drop them on the enemies to stun them. Here's what this is one of the bells, and there's also one on the other side of the screen as well. Now what we're going to do with the bells is, you're going to see how I use it here. I'm actually going to drop it on the enemies to stun them. See how it stops them in their place? And then what that does is it gives me a chance to get away by doing that. Now here I'm going to try to see if I can get Gora behind there. Once again for double the points. There. Now see here, I'm going to get a bunch of them behind him. Now if you get Goro in there, he's worth 1,000 points. You get him, if you get him with the bell. Now there's a big smash, if I can time this right, there's a big smash coming up here, if I can time this just right. So you see how that works? And you're going to notice it gets, as you get to the higher rounds, it gets faster and faster. And that's what makes Mappy fun, is the intensity picks up considerably. Now here's another technique I have. This is called the stun and sweep. I'm going to actually stun the cats with the bell. Then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to wait for them to bounce back up, and I'm going to wipe right off the screen. See that? How I got extra point? How I did that? I call that the stun and sweep. It's a very effective move in Mappy to be able to do. Now what you're going to notice is there. As you go to the different rounds, remember the cats are going faster and faster as you go to the different rounds. They are speeding up. So there's going to be times where you might not make it all the way to the end of the level. It's going to happen occasionally because, in fact, they are moving faster. And that's one of the things with Mappy. You're going to learn that pretty quickly. You're going to learn pretty quickly. You're going to be able to learn how that actually plays out on the higher rounds. So there I actually had him. Now I'm going to try to see if I can get him behind here. See, I'm going to wait for it. So now you're getting an idea of how the speed and stuff is increasing on the levels. You're getting a chance to see that now, how it's increasing. Now see here, I'm going to get a couple behind me. I'm going to go ahead and stun them. Now see, now I have a chance to get that. Remember I was showing you how Because the fact the levels are long, you can get trapped in there. That's what you got to be careful, is not getting trapped in there. Now here's another example where I can do it, where I can do a stun and sweep. I'm gonna get them all underneath the bell. I'm gonna pause them, and then I'm gonna get up on this level here, and I'm gonna sweep right off the screen when they come back. See how that works? Very, very effective move. And you just gotta kind of learn. You just gotta kind of learn how the cats and everything move. As you play more and more, you'll start to kind of memorize how they bounce and things as you go along. You'll start to memorize it as you play it more and more. It just takes a lot of practice. Now, this round here is a little bit different than the other rounds, the way it finishes. It starts out the same way, but I notice in the end that the finishing is a little bit different in the end. Okay, now up to this point it's the same. But you're going to notice at the very end, it's a little bit different at the very end. Now here's the difference. Watch what I'm going to use Gore to pop the last balloon. See how I popped them up to the top of the screen? Isn't that neat? Okay, so now we're on basically the last round of the last type of levels in the first set of rounds. Now here, the only difference here is going to be you're going to have a little more speed here involved, but we're also going to have a new element involved. I'm going to show you the new element. The new element is a trapdoor. You're going to see a flashing door, a flashing square here. When you go on that, it's going to open this up, and then when the cats fall between there, you get 300 points for every cat that falls between there. So very, very cool stuff. Now here I'm going to go ahead and get, remember you want to get as many cats behind the door as possible for extra points. Okay. Now here I'm actually going to do a combination. I'm going to get the cats behind me. They're going to go through the trapdoor. See, I got 300 points for every one of those, dropping through there. And I'm going to try to time it so I can sweep them off the screen like that, just like that. So now you're getting a chance to see how that actually works. Very, very cool stuff. Now here's a nice little move here where I'm going to drop them through. See how I dropped all the cats through there? Then I'm going to bring them down here. Then I'm going to go ahead and try to sweep them off the screen here. And sometimes when you're in a round, occasionally the cats will, I call that match you when you jump. Sometimes it's going to happen where they'll actually match you jump for jump. And when it happens, don't get frustrated. Just move on to the next round. You know, don't let it get you down. Now see here, I'm going to try to line them up. I'm going to try to see if I can get them behind there. See, I got that. Now here's a neat move. There's a trapdoor right here. I'm going to open the trapdoor. I'm going to let them fall down between it. And I'm going to get points for every one of those that falls through there. See that? Little moves like that really help to add up a lot with the points. See how he matched me there? They're going to do that on occasions. They will do that. Huh? But you kind of get an idea on how this works. So you can see how it is speeding up though. So you see how I dropped them through there? Now I want to try to line them up now for this top microwave to go up here on top here. I'm going to wait for them and try to line them up. See how I wait for them? Going to do the same thing here. Now here I'm going to open up the trap door. I'm going to let them fall through there. See? Okay. Now this bonus round's pretty cool too. Now this is one of my favorite ones because it has what I call the double bounce at the very end. You'll see it at the very end. See, everything else is pretty much the way it was in the earlier ones, but you're going to notice the end of this is a little bit different at the very end. You're going to see it's a little different. Now watch what I do here. I'm going to cut through here, and he's going to bounce over here and bounce up and get that balloon. See that? Isn't that cool? All right, well now what we do now is round 16 is going to be basically a repeat of round number 1. It's that same board and everything too, but the items are going to be moved around a little bit, and there's going to be more characters, which means more points. More enemies, more points. Bigger smashes. And this is one of the screens where I've gotten 10,000 point smashes on this screen too. There's a lot of points to be had here, but of course they're moving a lot faster too. So. See how much faster now they're moving than they were before. Woo! So you see how much faster everything's moving? But if you can get the cats on this level, if you can get them behind the microwave doors, they're worth a lot of points. Because there's a lot of them. Like this point right here. See that right there? That right there? That was a 3,000 point hit right there. And this is one of the great things about this level here. You can get some huge hits on here if you line them up just right. Remember, you want to get Goro behind there for double the points. Now here we go. But you see how it's a lot shorter? You have a lot shorter time to complete the level, too. But you can see though how much faster they are now. Pretty cool, huh? Now here comes a big hit here. If I can line it up right, let's see how many I can get here. See that? That's 2,400 point hit there. So there you go, guys. So there's Mappy. So now you got an idea of some of the tips and tricks and things I used to get high scores on Mappy. Now the main thing is, just keep in mind, the main thing with Mappy is just keep doing practice. That's one of the main things with Mappy. Just practice makes perfect on Mappy. So there you go, guys. So there's Mappy. Now, I also want to mention, too, by the way, I am going to have some other game review videos, arcade game review videos and things coming up as well. There's going to, remember, when you're watching a video on the top right-hand side of the screen, there's going to be links to other videos as well. I also want to mention too, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. And also, if you want to help show your support for the Kurt's Place channel, merchandise is available from the Kurt's Place channel store. There's a link to the Kurt's Place channel store in the video description down below. Alright guys, I want to thank you again for tuning in again to the Kurt's Place channel here. Hope you have a great day, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye now. Take care. See you next time.